When navigating the wizarding world through the perspective of a Muggle, there are a lot of things that might raise a few eyebrows. Some in a morally dubious sense, and others simply because of how unbelievably astonishing they are. But in my view, there is perhaps nothing more sinister or baffling than the notion of a love potion, and that's quite a statement given what's out there. Think about it. It's a potion that you give to someone, and it makes them fall involuntarily in love with you. For just a second, consider the power you could have over someone with this. One sip from a potion, and they're infatuated with you. And all of this only feels even more bizarre when you consider the fact that we're constantly reminded of how powerful the force of love truly is in the wizarding world. It was love that shielded Harry Potter from the killing curse. It was love that redeemed Severus Snape, even after a lifetime of questionable choices. And it was love that ultimately brought about Voldemort's downfall. But on the flip side of that, it was also love, artificially induced, that was directly responsible for the creation of Voldemort. Yet somehow love can be bottled and sold, like a trinket on a shop shelf in Diagon Alley. Today we're going to be taking a closer look at love potions in Harry Potter, how they're allowed to exist, how they work, and even a few theories on why I think they might not be quite what we think they are, one of which involves the Weasley twins. Let's dive in. Hey everyone, welcome to another installment of Harry Potter Theory. Now, the first thing that I want to address is that there is no one love potion. There are actually lots of them in varying strengths and, to some degree, effects. However, perhaps the most commonly known love potion is known as Amortentia. It's the most powerful love potion in the world, said Hermione. Quite right, you recognize it, I suppose, by its distinctive mother-of-pearl sheen. And the steam rising in characteristic spirals, said Hermione enthusiastically. And it's supposed to smell differently to each of us, according to what attracts us. And I can smell freshly mown grass and new parchment, and Amortentia works by producing a powerful infatuation or obsession in the drinker, and emits a scent unique to each individual, reflecting what they are most attracted to. However, one of the most important things to note here is that Amortentia doesn't produce genuine love. It only mimics it, a semblance of love that is derived from strong obsession. It doesn't create genuine emotion or connection, and instead, it overrides free will, making it, that's right, eerily similar to one of the three unforgivable curses. Even the magical world has its exceptions, and under Gamp's law, there are 5 things that magic cannot produce. In the series, love is shown to be a force that transcends magic, a driving force that can conquer evil, protect loved ones, and inspire acts of bravery and sacrifice. Simply put, it's OP. So given the power of love, it seems like it's a fitting exception to Gamp's law. Powerful infatuation can be induced by the skillful potioneer, but never yet has anyone managed to create the truly unbreakable, eternal, unconditional attachment that alone can be called love. But even though these love potions aren't creating genuine love, they're certainly still able to do a lot of damage. Love is powerful, but so is obsession. When someone falls under the influence of a love potion, their behavior becomes erratic, intense, and often dangerous. They can become fixated on a single person to the point of losing all sense of self, ignoring reason, personal boundaries, and even morality. It's not affection, it's a magically induced obsession that strips away free will and creates a warped version of desire. One of the best examples is Romilda Vane's love potion, which accidentally ends up affecting Ron Weasley. Even in that relatively tame example, Ron becomes so out of control that he needs to be physically restrained. And that was just a schoolgirl crush. In more extreme cases, love potions have been linked to manipulation, long-term control, and even death. It was also a love potion that inadvertently led to the birth of Voldemort. His mother, Merrippy Gaunt, used one to enchant Tom Riddle Sr., luring him into a relationship he would have never chosen on his own. And many believe that Voldemort's inability to understand or feel love, a defining aspect of his psychopathy, can be traced back to his completely unnatural conception. Being born from a love potion, an artificial and manipulative force, left him incapable of forming genuine emotional connections, setting him on the path to darkness from the very beginning. I think it's safe to say that they're not light-hearted pranks or silly spells. They're dangerous dark magic disguised with a pretty label. Which brings me to my next point. If they aren't pranks, why are they sold in a prank shop? Weasley's Wizard Wheezers is the Wizarding World's premier establishment for all things mischief, mayhem, and magical madness. Founded by Fred and George Weasley, the iconic shop in Diagon Alley quickly became a haven for pranksters, offering everything from skiving snack boxes to Peruvian instant darkness powder. But among the shelves of trick wands and puking pastels lies something a little more unsettling: love potions. Yes, right next to the fainting fancies and extendable ears, you'll find vials of shimmering liquid marketed as playful tools of flirtation. Harmless fun, right? But when you peel back the colourful packaging and consider what a love potion actually does, it stops feeling like a gag gift and starts feeling a little creepy. Because, let's be clear, this isn't love, it's control. It's one person bending another's will, taking away their ability to choose who they love or even if they love at all. In the Muggle world, this would be considered an outrageous violation of consent, and yet in the Wizarding world, it's a casual item sold to teenagers in a joke shop. And if that doesn't make you a little uncomfortable, it probably should. So, what's the deal here? Is everyone just turning a blind eye to love potions? Are Fred and George willingly selling what are essentially roofies to generations of teenagers? Or is there something we don't know? Here's what I think. Love potions, at least the ones that Fred and George sell, aren't real. They're the miracle weight loss teas peddled by influencers with suspiciously good lighting. They're the magical version of a 10-hour energy bracelet your uncle swears by. They're the crystals your aunt says balance your love chakra. Basically, they're snake oil. But here's where Fred and George are able to capitalize on their fake product. Calling them out on their fake product and attempting to return it would be an admission that not only did you purchase their potion, you also tried to use it. And in a tight-knit social environment like Hogwarts, filled with fragile teenage emotions, I'd be willing to bet that no one would be that bold or desperate. We also see examples of many girls at Hogwarts buying and sneaking love potions into the school. Fred and George even brag about how easy it is to get them past Filch. But despite all of this, we don't actually see anyone fall victim to the potions, or at least not enough to suggest they're truly effective. You'd expect random couples to start forming, or at least someone to mention how odd it is, but nothing. Hermione says that their love potions probably work, but not because she's seen them in action, but because she, like the rest of the student body, trusts the magical abilities of Fred and George. The only real counterexample would be Ron Weasley, who accidentally consumes a love potion meant for Harry, allegedly brewed by Romilda Vane. But this speculation is left a bit open-ended. I went into the girls' bathroom just before I came in here, and there are about a dozen girls in there, including that Romilda Vane, trying to decide how to slip you a love potion. They're all hoping they're going to get you to take them to Slughorn's party, and they all seem to have bought Fred and George's love potions, which I'm afraid to say probably work. But what's important to note here is that Hermione isn't quoting Romilda directly. She's reporting a conversation overheard among a group of excited girls, many of whom had indeed purchased potions from the twins. However, Romilda is never explicitly confirmed to have used a Weasley's Wizard Wheezers potion, and since Mrs. Weasley tells us that brewing a love potion is something a Hogwarts student can do, it's entirely possible Romilda made her own. Adding to the doubt is the fact that, despite numerous attempts by multiple girls to spike Harry's food or drink, no one ever successfully does. You'd think with 20 to 30 people trying, someone would succeed, especially considering how easy it seems to tamper with food in the magical world. But Harry is never affected. So perhaps Fred and George's faux love potions are their magnum opus, their greatest prank to date, tricking generations of teens into believing that they can drug their way into love. After all, what could be more fitting for two master tricksters than a joke so subtle, so deeply embedded in teenage desperation that it goes completely unnoticed? But now the only question that remains is, why are love potions accepted at all? Sure, Fred and George may have sold fake ones, but students are still taught how to make them. I guess we'll just have to add it to the long list of messed up things in Wizarding society that don't make sense. And that's it for this video. I've made a few other love potion theories in the past, including Ginny Weasley gave Harry a love potion, and how and why did Voldemort and Bellatrix have a child. So go and check those out as well. Until next time, remember, it does not do to dwell on dreams, and to forget to live